Hello and welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and we are facing a complicated circumstance with the Harkles and the royal family, and what's going to happen with all this blackmailing, manipulation, and gaslighting of about the appearance on the coronation, the upcoming coronation. We have this all this happening with the titles of the kids, and we know that some negotiations could be happening. And before you tell me, no, Jesus, there should be no negotiations. Why should King Charles be negotiating with the Harkles? And I'm going to tell you that there's a possibility, and it is not looking good. And I will explain, I will use this video to explain why. But first, we need some memes. The first one is this cute, tiny, happy cottage, happy land toy, a new royal baby. Oh, that's a doll, right? And my question is, why isn't Meghan black? I don't know. She or biracial? She doesn't look as biracial as she should. And well, Harry has a gray suit, so he was depicted perfectly. And regarding Harry, talking about Harry, Tracy Williams on Twitter pitched me this image. If you zoom in, you can see in body language of his team how motivational Harry truly is. But I'm going to tell you in many ways that not only you can see that most people has their arms crossed or have their hands together, like a bit close. Maybe they were cold at the time. Maybe the room was cold. We don't know. But I can tell you that attitude it's not gonna win Harry any acolytes. That talking, having his speech, and having his feet crossed. No, Harry, you need a body language coach. Maybe not me. Maybe I will not be your first pick, but you need one, and urgently. Now let's get down to it with our topic. Reading some reports that suggest the Harkles are using Archie's birthday as leverage for negotiations against the royal family in regards to their attendance to the coronation. And I'm going to be a bit harsh with this, but I have no other way of saying this. Friendly reminder that some people can have children just to use them like pawns on a chessboard. And just to be clear, I had a question on Twitter that I wanted to answer. And this question was, who would you say is trying to manipulate the public opinion against King Charles of the royal family? Is it Harry on his own? Only 1.4% after more than 1,000 votes believe that is Harry on his own. Is Meghan through Harry? Is 22.8%. It was just Meghan. And both Harry and Meghan is a whopping 3/4 of the poll. So I think the general consensus, just to be clear about this, is that both Harry and Meghan are trying to manipulate the public. Long gone the days that we thought that Meghan was, it was all the puppet jokes with Harry. No, it is not a puppet. He's not a puppet. He's part of the thing. I believe in this the knowledge of the masses, as long as the masses are not manipulated by mass media, of course. But I know that most of you have felt this, can reach this conclusion after all that we have read, after all the body language that we have analyzed. You can reach this conclusion. But we have further details that this Prince Harry and Meghan Markle reportedly want to attend the coronation but are negotiating their terms. What are those terms? Archie's birthday falls on May 6, Coronation Day, and the Sussexes want the family to recognize that, a source told OK. And pay attention to this. The Sussexes have asked for some kind of celebration or acknowledgement to be factored into the day's plans to ensure that his 4th birthday won't get lost during the momentous day. That is a bit nonsensical, right? Because it doesn't have anything to do with the king's coronation with Archie's birthday. But Bear with me with this. And not even Harry has the right to say that this is such an important date, because you will remember, thanks with I White Shirt to remind me about this. Exactly, last year Has did not remember how old the boy was on his birthday. He played polo. This sparked discussion if that was right for him to go and play polo on Archie's birthday. But I don't know. It was rather odd. It was rather odd after all the genetic pain and all that stuff that he wanted to do things right with his family, with his son. That just doesn't fit everything that Harry has said, that he wants to make it right with his own family. It's like you say something that you act another way. But let's go back to that argument of Archie being leveraged. And to be clear, just in case that you don't know the meaning of the word, I'm talking about leverage in terms of negotiation. Negotiation leverage is the power that one side of a negotiation has to influence the other to move closer to their negotiating position, or the ability that I have, or the ace that I have to be able to twist your arm in my benefit. A party's leverage is based on its ability to award benefits or impose costs on the other side. And most important, another conceptualization holds that the party that has the most to lose from a no-deal outcome has less leverage than the party that has the least to lose. And since we are talking about deals, I should not need to remind you who has the most experience in deals or no deals. But also from Cosmopolitan, and you know that Cosmo is on the Harkles side, but again, bear with me with this. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have the upper hand in coronation negotiations, source says. And this source says a couple of things that are right. Speaking to page 6, Hugo Vickers, a writer and royal family friend, said that Charles and his inner circle still very much want the Sussex drama to be under control before his coronation in May. That sounds about right. And that's apparently true whether Harry and Meghan decide to attend the event in person or not. That makes sense, right? Nothing new here. That's just common sense. Nothing must deflect from the actual coronation. It's very important, Vickers explained. I don't know if Harry and Meghan will both come to the coronation, but the message I'm getting is that Charles is concerned about his son and wishes to leave the door open for him. I would not be surprised. Many of you royalists, maybe you are King Charles fans or are not King Charles fans, but when it comes to, proving Harry wrong, every single one of you have produced any amount of pictures that show that Charles, at many points of their lives, he was the father that maybe Harry needed. Maybe not in the way that Harry needed after losing his mother. Nothing is perfect. Nobody's perfect. Maybe our parents did not have those tools. But it's not like Charles was absolutely disconnected. So whether you are a fan or not of King Charles, there's enough proof that he tried to make up for it. So it will not be surprising that he wants to leave that door open for Harry to the coronation. So far, it's not that hard to get to those conclusions. But then this. Some anonymous royal sources also weighed in on the coronation situation for page 6. And one made it clear that winning, and pay close attention to this, winning in the situation seems to revolve around the ability to dominate headlines on May 6. And by that measure, Harry and Meghan are always going to be in a power position. Whatever happens, Harry and Meghan will always be the ones in the headlines, the source, described as a palace insider, explained. Whether they come or they stay at home in California, they do hold the upper hand. I am not going to play the devil's advocate here, because I will not be the advocate. This is my stance as well. Sadly, it's public relations stuff, it's public opinion stuff, is mass communication stuff. Headlines do matter. You want to attract the right kind of attention, but in this day and age, it's like it doesn't matter what kind of attention you attract. You have to be an Amber Heard and totally wreck it down to the ground to totally mess your image, your brand, and everything. And Harry and Meghan, it's undoubtedly they will still be able to deliver headlines. I remember Neil Sean back in 2021, and he said that maybe around November 2022, their brand will be entirely oblivious or have faded away, but it hasn't happened. And I couldn't think that a moment that is getting more traction, especially after their children got the titles that they were looking for. Whether if you believe that they had those titles by birthright, not that simple. It's not that simple. I keep my stance that it was not that simple. They have a breath of fresh air with those titles. And boy, Meghan, I'm gonna tell you, Meghan is ready to merge those titles at all costs. Exclusive Meghan Markle go to head with Gwyneth Paltrow as she relaunches the TIG blog. She has got official preliminary approval to revive the website she shut down after getting engaged to Prince Harry in 2017. So she's all for the freebies and the merch and stuff. She is more than ready. She just needed what a coincidence that this appears right after Archie and Lilibet getting their titles. It's so like the stars have aligned. No. You know how this works. But now we have this dilemma. The dilemma. This is the kind of things that I like about negotiation. I like about behavior. I like about critical thinking and understanding that this is not as simple as, well, King Charles should just ignore them. King Charles should just ignore Archie's birthday. It's not as simple as that. He has two options. Let's say that this is black or white. It is never black or white, but to make things easier, let's think that this is black or white. Do not acknowledge Archie's birthday or acknowledge Archie's birthday. Let's see what happens in each scenario, starting from the second one. If King Charles acknowledges Archie's birthday, the day of the coronation, or Buckingham Palace acknowledges Archie's birthday on that day, King Charles will be seen as weak again. Also, of course, it also depends on how do they acknowledge it. But I think that even a formal communication, I don't know what kind of effect could it have in the actual fans, the current fans of the monarchy. I don't know. What I know is that the general public's monarchy support will suffer. It's like, what is really important for you? The coronation of the brand new king of England, or what? Meghan and Harry's brand will get a boost. And what a boost. There will be it will be like the South Park episode, but in reverse. It's like the total opposite of the South Park episode. It will happen. Professional victimhood will prevail as a viable option to get away with it. This is something that I really don't like. We have had so many professional victims almost getting away with it, like Jussie Smollett or Amber Heard. Amber Heard will make a comeback. She's just waiting for the right moment to come back. She's waiting for that comeback. I'm sure she's gonna come back. She will do it. She just has to wait until people begin to, forget about details of the trial and stuff. Give it 1 or 2 years. Mark my words. And by proxy, William and Catherine's brand will take a hit. That is like the only showing this weakness towards something that the Harkles are claiming we are in negotiations about this, just by claiming that, just by giving in to those alleged negotiations, it will be, maybe not catastrophic, but it will not look good. And after that chain of so many times that why don't you take their titles away? You don't take their titles away. I understand that he cannot do it directly, but he could have started the motion, and I don't know if he started the motion, but instead the kids got titles, so people are a bit pissed off, you can imagine. But what happens in the other scenario? Do not acknowledge Archie's birthday. What happens in this scenario? King Charles will be seen as pragmatic. Not necessarily bad, but it will be directly at odds with the concept of family. And I know this is not a Fast and Furious movie, but still the concept of family is something that so many of us want to bring back because it is under attack. So it will not be the best idea to not acknowledge Archie's birthday. I know that common sense dictates that such an event as King Charles' coronation is like, in this case, Trump's Archie's birthday, just because he's 4-year-old. Archie's not gonna remember this date. That's a fact. Do you remember? Let me know if you remember your birthday number 4. I don't. It could add fuel to the story that Harry has been excised from his own family, even if he has intentions to come back. You know that Harry in his latest interviews has been a bit vague. You know that how narcissists love to be vague about so many things just to keep the door open. Oh, we don't know if we are going or not to the coronation. That is on purpose. That is to keep the public opinion going. That is on purpose. And on a greater scale, it will not be seen as ignoring just a birthday, but the grandchild of the king and himself. So it's a bit like a snake that bites its own tail, right? It's like a bit of a recursive thing. So as you will be ignoring your own grandchild. I'm putting the worst case scenario. I'm sure that many of you think that this should not go that far, but we don't know what can happen from this moment to the day of the coronation, and especially the 48 hours prior to the coronation. You can bet that Harry and Meghan have something planned for those 48 hours prior to the coronation, if not the 24 hours prior to the coronation. So this decision between do not acknowledge Archie's birthday or acknowledge Archie's birthday is the famous you'll be damned if you do and damned if you don't. What I've mentioned in so many videos of the body language guide, which is a manipulation tactic of narcissists. They will put you in a position in which either decision you make, you will lose, no matter what you do. And that is part. That's why I wanted to know what do you think about that? Who is really manipulating the royal family and King Charles? You know that pulling at their heartstrings, because that is the ace that Harry has under his sleeve. I think Charles loves Harry like deeply. And at the same time, he feels guilty for so many things. And he wants to make things right. And Harry knows this, and Meghan knows this, and they know that this is a way to undermine, because these are family emotions and a very close emotion from a father to a son. And Harry is broken in so many ways, and besides the drug use, that he has acknowledged that it's that the Harkles, what do the Harkles have to lose from all this? Seriously, what do the Harkles have to lose? And I'm gonna tell you what do they have to lose. They have nothing to lose from this, and everything to gain. They can lead the headlines. And why do they lead the headlines? Because they need this. they need to steer the public opinion in any way, both in one way or another, because that's how they will make the money, not only being invited to make speeches or getting donations or Archwell. Who knows what Archwell is really doing with that money? I don't know if the right people are looking at Archwell's books. Will be interesting, by the way. But so many things that the Harkles can gain just by the exposure, because again, we are living in times that are almost devoid of ethics and morality, and even a pair of grifters that couldn't be more obvious their intentions in so many ways, even that win for themselves, having Archie and Lilibet named after everything that they have said about the monarchy, after everything that they have said about the Commonwealth, about everything that they have said about the Empire, the British Empire 2.0, getting those titles. What in the I want to understand the mental gymnastics of the Sussexes squad to justify this nonsense. Like, down with the monarchy, we want privacy, but thanks for the titles. Let's merge them all the way. Let's milk them all the way down to Montecito. That's what's going, and that's why my initial assessment. Yeah, reports suggest that they're using Archie's birthday as leverage for negotiations against the royal family. They're trying to wreak havoc, making an impossible decision. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. And it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what happens. They will eventually lead the headlines. The only thing that the royal family can do, the real effort in this case, is try to minimize the impact on the perception that the general public has of the monarchy and the royal family. In my opinion, is vastly more important to secure the support of the people that already support you, of your fans, of your royalists, of the people that are rooting for the monarchy. But the monarchy, as in every group, every tribe, needs a strong leader. Yes, a leader should be compassionate too, but it has to be strong. He or she has to be strong, has to have decision, has to be someone that you can rely on to make the tough decisions that, well, maybe you don't want to take. You want that figure. And that's what people are expecting. That's what royalists are expecting of King Charles. Will he be able to pull that off? That is to be seen. As usual, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. My Royal Rogues, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. And until we meet on another video or another live, remember the two most important words: much love and bliss. Bye-bye.